It is a rainy afternoon out there. I love this weather though. And I am still sewing. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going back to my batik scraps. My friend gave me 3 more bags of scraps. Let me show you. There's one. There's a couple more over there by the door. I decided I would like to have a table runner. I don't know if you'd really call this a table runner though. Sometimes I get sick of my tablecloths. Our table gets pretty cluttered and it's hard to get them off. But I thought I'd like to have something that would lie in the middle of the table, have our Lazy Susan on top of it, and have just, you could see stuff around it, but it wouldn't drape over the edge like a tablecloth. So I'm calling this a table runner. I started with a very long centerpiece here, okay, so that it would maintain that type of shape. I guess I could have even done a longer centerpiece and had less on the side, but I think I want it to show on the side too. I'll show you what it looks like on the table when I get done. I do think I'm definitely going to quilt the top and put a backing on it. I don't know if I'll put any batting in it for this. I'm right on the end. I'm putting a few extra rows on the end. I got done with this, and then I'm doing 1, 2, and I love this fabric. This one is so much fun. So I'm putting that on this end. I'll do a little bit more on the ends, and then I'll be done with it. Iron it up and see what it looks like. So here is the table runner top, and it is all, the top is done. All right, time to move on. It's time to tidy up all these scraps. What a mess. Well, as I ponder the back of this table runner, quilted table runner, I'm thinking about this drawer of fabric. This is my drawer of kind of heavier, canvasy kind of fabrics, mostly in rose. Well, look at all that. That's not roses. But I have a lot of this kind of thing. That's rather dark and dusky. I do have some of this kind of stuff, which I'm not real fond of. But I was thinking about trying to find one that was big enough. Well, there's a, boy, chopped up some of this stuff, haven't I? And I don't really like this one at all. Why I have it, I don't know. And I don't really like that either. What did I get that for? Don't know why I have fabric that I don't like. Some of these pieces are not as big as I thought. I'm gonna have to ponder this. I might have to use this after all, which I just don't know if that would. See, here's this batiks, and here's that. That just does not go. I do like this fabric though, but I've really used a lot of it, and some of it is just small pieces now. Oh, there's a little bit of blueberry. I love this, but I've really chopped it up. I used to have a lot of that. I don't think I do anymore. These are mostly little scraps. Well, I'm going to have to ponder this. I might have to go buy something. Let's see. All right. I thought I was going to find something and show you what I wanted when I got in this drawer, and that did not happen. So we're going to have to think about the back. My favorite part is the machine quilting. I just love that part. And I'm going to try to do a better binding this time. I don't know how I'm going to do binding, but it won't be the flip over, run a seam. That just always gives me wonky, ugly bindings. I don't know why I do that. But that's kind of pretty, but I really don't have enough of that. All right, well, we'll figure out something, won't we? So here is the little table runner. I don't know if that's the proper name for it. So it doesn't go the length of the table, although it does pretty well. This is a good long table. Anyway, but it'll be a little centerpiece underneath our turnaround over there. I'm pleased with the colors as always because of that fabric. So the binding is still very imperfect, really awful in some places, but I did do it differently. Instead of just pulling the backing, which I used that fabric again. It's very nice. Around to the front, I did run a thin band of those strips. Sewed them end to end to have a nice long piece. And it's fairly narrow, but just, man, don't look very closely at the stitching and don't flip it over. Ugh. So I may repair it at some point, but I'm ready to be done with this for now. So there it is. Little table runner in Log Cabin. Oh, there's Bobo. And there's Tricky. All you sometimes see is their fluffy tails. Well, I've sped up this footage a little bit, but I wanted to share with you how I made this very first book. Now, the booklet itself, the outside, is part of an old booklet of sheets, 12 by 12 sheets that people use for scrapbooking. I use it to make packaging for my soaps. And that piece of paper there is some leftover paper from soap packaging. And I have a lot of little pieces like that it wasn't long enough for soap. And here's another one that I'm cutting. I have lots of little extras like that. I like it for soap. I don't know that I want all of it for these booklets. It's not quite my style, but some of it is. So I'm going to cover up the outside of the outside with paper first. Now this was my first one and I'm really experimenting, and what they tell you to do is just do what you like and just be creative and don't think about whether it's perfect or anything like that. So that's what I'm doing. I do want to cover up the white, and I particularly want to cover up on the inside the patterns in there. So I've got some of my scraps here. Some of those are watercolor strips, and some of them are these paper strips that I have left over. So this one's going to go kind of on the back binding. It's got some lettering on it. Now I'm just using some school glue, which is water soluble, because at this point I didn't have anything else. Although later I use a glue stick, and I also use double-sided tape, which I really like. You saw me use that to hang my quilt on the wall, so I knew it was heavy enough for doing paper for sure. Now you see how I've folded that. I'm going to have a pocket on each side on the inside. Now I've got another piece of this left over, And I'm on the inside of the booklet. I've sped it up a little faster now. There you go. Now some of this paper I like a lot, like the blue floral, but like that green polka dot stuff, I'm not wild about it, but it's okay. Like they said, doesn't have to be perfect. I imagine I'll make quite a few of these and decorate them as much as I feel comfortable doing. More flowers. This paper is perfect for packaging soap because people like happy, happy stuff. Bright colors. I think I'm going to need some more glue. Now I'm going to put some heavy things on there. And now I've got a little card on the inside that says Inspiration Art. It's nice to have watercolor paper around. And I also had some new pens. I need to show them to you at some point. I'm quite pleased with them. It's a set that looks like micron pens, but it's about 10 of them, and they vary in width. And so the widest one I can use like a calligraphy pen. Well, here's some of the fun I've been working on. Here's that little booklet I've been doing. Not quite done with it yet. There's hydrangea flowers. And there's some little blooms from crepe myrtle. Here's the inside with two little pockets. Now what I'm going to keep in here are cards that I find or that people give me that inspire me to want to do art. When I look at them, I go, ooh, I want to paint that. Or, ooh, that's a cool idea. I've always liked this one. Just a stack of tea. Anyway, isn't that cute? This is beautiful. I think my mother sent me this. Yes, that's her handwriting. I think it is a painting that a friend of hers did. Yes, it is. Get my glasses on. Mary Jane Henley. My mother has a horrible habit of taking cards that have been given to her and then making copies of them. This is one. This was a Christmas card from somebody. Oh, a dear friend. And you may recognize that I tried to paint that. I struggled. It was hard. I painted a version of it. I've always loved the little simple watercolor look of that. Again, this is Mary Jane Henley. She was a watercolor artist. I think she is deceased now. She was in Jackson, Mrs. Mary Jane Henley. Well, I must like her stuff. Isn't that beautiful? I damaged that one by spilling water on it, as you can see, but you can still get the feel of it, which is what I'm looking for. And another Mary Jane Henley. I never realized that most of the ones I had were from her. I've got some other cards sitting around that should go in here too. So I'm going to work on this some more. I got this in the mail yesterday. This is matte medium. My mother-in-law recommended I get some of this for kind of adhering things, especially plant life, to paper underneath and on top. I also just picked up some Mod Podge yesterday. I don't know if there's a difference between those two. Got this. This was fun. It's about almost $5 for this little bottle. Sunset Canyon. Glitter acrylic paint. But you just put it, it's more like glue. Like I put it on, hang on. Put it on this. Now, I could have accomplished some of that with splattering with gold paint, but it was so much easier to use that glue. Can you see it glittering? So that was fun. One thing I haven't used yet is this Distress Ink, Distress Oxide Brush Corduroy. It's a lot smaller than I was hoping, but it's a teeny little thing, but that might give me that distress look. Yesterday, I went to the thrift store and found this little brush, but I don't want a brush. I want something that I can rub this onto paper with. And so I glued This is batting. I glued batting to the back using some hefty glue. The other thing I got yesterday in the mail, I really ordered last week, I felt indulgent, is this, I've heard people call it a hake brush or a hakey brush, H-A-K-E. It's Japanese. I'm going to give it a try. See what I think. I think those are goat bristles over there. Goat? Yes. So, some new fun things to play with. I think this might jumpstart my painting because I've kind of been in the doldrums for a while. Just really not wanting to paint the same old cards over and over. And so I'm doing some new stuff. And I think Botanicals might be a good idea. I decided to do some more Botanicals this morning from my wonderful book. And I'm going to start checking them off every time I do one. I don't think I'll do the whole book. I'm not that committed. But this is going to be a marigold, knapweed, chicory, and bindweed. Now all I've done is sketch the flower or the plant in at this point and added background watercolor and some salt. And I put salt on each one. Gave each one a different kind of color tone, color look, and then I'll go back in and do other things in a minute. All right, well, I've done the painting of the flowers and I've done some splatter in different colors. I did gold on the marigold. I did some blue and then dabbed at it on the knapweed. I did a lighter blue. Sometimes I just pick up on the toothbrush I use, I just pick up something that's on my palette that's a mix. Don't even know what it is, but I like the chicory. It's more gentle with the pink. I also did some splattering with gouache. I put some gouache on the middle of that flower and the middle of those leaves. And then I splattered some and it got on the green and I really like how that looks. And then I put a little gold on there too because this has kind of a goldy look. I like those leaves. Anyway, pretty pleased with these. I'll let them dry. I might put some of that Distress Oxide stuff on there, on some corners to age them and see what I think. Hello again. Well, I wanted to share with you some of the stuff I've added to my little collection of tools to make this crazy creative stuff. This is kind of a break in my painting creative process from all the cards I've painted. So remember this book. This has been fun. I may still add to it. That's the nice thing about these. This is not a journal. This is a little booklet for keeping cards in that inspired me. And I know I've got more somewhere. We've already looked at that. This is the next one I'm working on. I'm not really sure how it's going to be put together. I've got two little of these. Oh, I don't even know what they're called. They're not brads, but they look like butterfly open on the back. And I did some painting in there. Now I haven't finished this side. I'm going to have to put something on there, some fabric or maybe some paper. I did put fabric on the back, and that was fine, but kind of a serious endeavor. And I had to use a knife to make the holes in the fabric because my hole punch would not go through. But I think that's kind of fun looking there. Okay, and then when I was doing that, I realized that my fabric adhesive, my fabric glue, was just about running out and drying out. So I did get some new of that. That's what this looks like. Super fabric adhesive. This is wonderful for gluing fabric onto anything. So when I was gluing this back, I folded around the edges and glued it down on all four sides. And I've got a little bit of washi tape up there. I don't have very much washi tape left. I had 3 rolls that I had gotten at Walmart years ago. And anyway, today I went to Hobby Lobby, which is our only craft store left in the nearby town. And I did get this whole box. Isn't that fun? There's thin ones and thick ones. And those are some colors I really love. Rosy and kind of salmony orange and gray. And I'm going to have so much fun with that. In addition to the sparkly glue, okay, now what is this stuff called officially? It has a name. Okay. Folk Art Glitterific Pop. This is called Sunset Canyon is the color of that. And it has on the top an image that shows you what colors you're going to get. And I like this one because it's not just gold or silver, but it actually has some red in there. And so I got another one. This one's called Birthday Party. Decided to go kind of wild, get some more color. I don't remember if I showed you that I got this little brush and I glued this to it. And I've been using this to rub on this Distress ink that I got. I ordered this from Amazon and I didn't know really how big it was. It ended up being very small. I mean, it's just that big. It's in the color Brushed Corduroy, which Michelle at Creative Cove recommended. And I like using it a lot. You can I just rub this on here and then rub it around the edge of pages. Like that's some of what's on these corners here. And yeah, here this is a good example. That's one on what's on these corners here. I like that. It's not really a grunge look, but it's a distressed look. Anyway, she had a really big one though. And when I went to Hobby Lobby again, I found this one. See, look how much bigger this one is. It's, yeah, it's 4 of these. And it was only $5.99. Now, I forget how much this was, but this is definitely cheaper at Hobby Lobby than whatever it was I paid for that. This did have free shipping, but anyway, this is Distress Oxide, and this is Distress Ink. I think this allows things to show through more than this does, but it'll work just fine. And I've got my little rubby thing here. Now, the other thing I found, which I was so excited about, I've been looking for a stamp. Now, I did get a stamp. This is what it looked like from the thrift store. And it says something like, oh, let me see, where did I do it? Okay, I did it here. Let us be grateful to people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. So I opened up the whole stamp and did it there. But on the front here, you can see I have just little bits of it because I took it off of its back, and so it's flexible. So you can bend it and just leave a few words there, which is fine. But what I really wanted was an illegible word stamp, and that's what this is. Okay, now it's on a big wooden mount. This was $10.99 at Hobby Lobby, and I am embarrassed to say I'm probably going to pull it off of here so that it'll be more flexible and I can put a few words down, or I can put more words down. As it is right here, it's not flexible and I'm left, you know, it's kind of chunky. But it's illegible words, so it's not going to have anything you can really read on there, which I like that idea. So this was very fun to find. This was fun to find. I was very excited to get this. This is a different color. It's called Vintage Photo. They look pretty similar. I think the Brushed Corduroy is a little greener. The other thing I found at Salvation Army was I found some photo album paper that I can use. I can cut it up or use it whole. And I also got, because Michelle also uses a lot of lace, I got a little doily for 49 cents. And I'm probably going to chop the lace off and chop the medallions out and use the fabric separate and just use that up. Those are pretty quick to find. The other thing I found that I've been thinking about are these little, whatever these are, little punch cutters, okay? This one has a little leaf, and this one has a little seahorse. And I'm looking forward to using those also on these little, I'll call them journals, but the thing is, I don't usually use journals very much. It's very rare. I don't do tons of handwriting. I don't like to do handwriting. And I did so much writing, so much journaling, so much poetry and short story and novel writing that I'm kind of written out. But I do like to have books to keep other things in, like those cards. So, and artistic ideas. So, that may be what this becomes. This I also found. Now this is a sewing thing. People in Europe are always talking about using duvet covers for sewing projects. And this is a duvet cover and 2 pillow shams that I found for $6 at Salvation Army, and it looks like it's in beautiful shape, lovely, bright. I could make a fun skirt out of that. Probably a skirt and a shirt. Although I don't wear matchy outfits. I don't know why, but I don't. The other thing I've got is a good bit of ribbon. This is some fun ribbon I used. I've been saving that up. I really love it. I put it in this little booklet in the bottom here. Almost like a little pouch. I could put another row here, but it would cover up more of that painting I did. So anyway, lots of fun happening here in the studio with this creative work. And I may be doing some of this on and off going forward. But the thing is, how many little booklets can you have? Some people cannot get enough. I don't know about me. We'll have to see. So that's it from the studio today. And I'll be sharing this week. I'm leaving on a trip in 2 days to go see my mother in West Virginia, and I have taken you along on my West Virginia trips over and over. I'm not going to plague you with more West Virginia shots, maybe just a few, if I can find some real pretty shots or video, but not on the whole trip. So I'll see you when I get back. Bye-bye.